Welcome back to another live. Welcome to the Premier League review. 3 on Sunday night. Just want to get
Why
off.
do you sound, bro? Why do you sound sad? What happened?
What do you expect, man? United got cherry pie in the face at Old Trafford by fucking Bournemouth here. Like, yeah, nah. This is an all-time low for me. All-time low. I can't, man. I can't. I feel a bit better though. It's been how many hours since the game ended? Like 6 hours now? Yeah, nah. This is it's but still though, like, come on, 3-0 at home to Bournemouth? Nah, I'm not accepting it, man. I'm not accepting it. Yeah, what are you saying, Prime? What are you saying, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, here's what it is. I told people that Chelsea fans are me telling you guys that we're not in a title race. We're just chilling. So it is what it is, man.
Sure, Shivan, we didn't see that coming. Sure. I didn't see that coming either. I didn't see it happening either. But it happened, so let's digest. Let's talk about it. But yeah, where do you want to start? I mean, we can start anywhere. We could start at Old Trafford. We could start at, Goodison. We could start at, Aston Villa, which I expected that to happen. Or we could talk about Tottenham getting dumped 6-3. Liverpool hitting Spurs for 6. Because this weekend's been an absolute, this weekend's been crazy. Especially United losing, Chelsea dropping points, City lost, and Spurs lost. I'm not saying Spurs are a top 6 side or anything. Aston Villa are, but yeah, this is peak. I mean, might as well just start at Old Trafford, to be honest, because I just want to get it off my chest quickly. I mean, what can I say? I mean, that was abysmal. Like, honestly, bro, United just got absolutely thumped. When the first goal went in, I was like, okay, still in the game. It's not over. It's still early doors. Could still get it. Could still get back into the game. Then halftime comes. I'm like, okay, do you know what? Fine. Go into halftime, regroup, come back out. Second half. This is exactly like the Spurs game all over again. This game today is exactly like how the Spurs game went at Old Trafford, where we lost 3-0. We conceded a second half goal, 2-0, and then that was the game. And then Spurs scored the killer goal later. But then this is what Bournemouth did to us. Back-to-back years, we've lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. This is something I've never thought would happen in the history of a football club. We never should have lost 2-0. Sorry, we never should have lost 3-0 to Bournemouth at home last season, right? This season even worse. Even worse this season. Last season was like, bro, it was bad, but this season is looking even worse. It's looking even worse, right? And yeah, it does feel like Ten Hag was in charge, and it's gonna be a roller coaster. Big up King, big up. But yeah, bro. I mean, I'm just absolutely fuming right now. Honestly, like with that performance right there, I don't think any of these players can see the pitch next game. None of them. None of them. The only player that can really see the pitch right now is Ahmad because he's our only informed player. Everyone else just looks like an absolute everyone else. We're a shit show at the moment. Like just watching United play. I'm just seeing us like there's no real like pattern of play. All I'm seeing is just United win the ball back, keep it, pass it through, and then what else we do? We create nothing from it. We create
Are you saying
nothing.
you're saying there's
Yeah.
no pattern of play?
No, I'm not saying there's no pattern of play, but there's no chance creation. Our lack of chance creation is a massive issue. I'm saying United play a bit better. Like I'm seeing us win the ball, like passing it's fine. But the biggest issue I'm seeing is we don't have anything in the final third. Bruno Fernandes, all he wants to do is just ping it long. That's not what Ruben Amorim wants. That's not what Ruben Amorim wants. That's not what I want as well. That's not what the fans want. The fans want to see a good style of play. None of this hoofball, long ball. None of that. All we want to see is just good passage of plays and good. Excuse me, I can't even talk right now. And good final third play because bro, we don't have anything in the final third. We're struggling to create chances in the final third. We don't have a player that can create, right? Bruno Fernandes, people talk about Bruno Fernandes being this guy. But what's Bruno Fernandes really doing on the pitch? What's he actually doing on the pitch to convince people that this guy is one of our best players? Because for me, I don't see any reason why he is our best player. He's nowhere near our best player. He's not even close to our best player. Our best player is Amad Diallo, period. Right? Casemiro, what has he done to not get minutes this season? What has he done for Ruben Amorim to drop this guy and not give him minutes? He's not, bro. I kid you not, yeah. Casemiro and Ugarte before Ruben Amorim came in was working so well. That pivot right there was class. I can't. I trust me. If he plays Casemiro and Ugarte in this midfield, no one gets past them. No one gets past them. You guys struggle to beat them as well. You guys struggle to break them down, and I remember that game very very well because we could have easily won that game. But because you know what it is, United are letting everyone through the midfield. Kobbie Mainoo is not an 8. Why is Kobbie Mainoo still playing in the 8?
What is Mainoo then? Because he's not a 10.
He's a 10 for me. Because you know
He's
why?
not a 10. He's not a 10, bro.
Do you know why? Because every time he wins the ball, yeah, what he wants to do is when he wins it, he just has to try and dribble himself out of trouble. And that's the biggest issue with him. I don't want him dribbling himself out of trouble. What I want him doing is bringing the ball up the pitch. As an 8, maybe it might work. As a 6, I'm sorry, he can't play as a 6. He can't play next to Ugarte. He has to play either further forward or come off the bench. Because for me, when he took Ugarte off today, when Amorim took Ugarte off, I was like, it's either you're just throwing everyone forward, you're just trying to make yourself look like a genius. You're trying to punt. You're trying to take a punt and be like, okay, I'm gonna put him on the pitch. He brings on Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund, right? He takes off Ugarte. The midfield balance is gone, so Mainoo is alone in that 6 or that 8. So that just leaves our midfield more exposed and more open. So then what happens is Mainoo just gets done, and United just can't win the ball back in midfield. That's pretty much it. We just can't. He can't be our lone 6 or lone 8 because him playing next to Bruno Fernandes is suicidal. It's literally suicidal because, bro, none of them can win. None of them are great ball retention players. They're not great ball retention players. Kobbie Mainoo, for me, if you want him to drive the ball forward, if you want him to take the ball forward, play him in the 10. Play him in the 10 because he's not. Because I'll tell you this right now: if you play Bruno in the 10, right? All he's just trying to do is ping it long into the box. What's that gonna do for us? What's that gonna do? He's still gonna ping crosses and no one's gonna get onto the end of it, right? Play him in the 8 or don't play him at all. Bruno in the 8, Kobbie in the 10 or off the bench. For me, Kobbie Mainoo needs to try playing in the 10. You've pretty much tried everything now. Try playing Mainoo in the 10 and see if it works. If it doesn't work, bench him. Bench him. Don't play him then. Play Casemiro and Ugarte because that pivot works. That pivot for me would work. And then you play someone else ahead of them too. I felt Casemiro when he's played this season, he's looked quite good. Other than Liverpool game, other than a few other games, every other game he's been good. I feel Casemiro deserves more minutes. I thought he was gonna play on Thursday against Spurs, but he didn't. I'm wondering if Casemiro is gonna play anymore this season because at the rate we're going at, I don't see Casemiro playing anymore. I don't see him playing Casemiro unless he plays him next game. Unless he tries something different, I don't see him starting. Don't see him starting. I only see him come off the bench. And we play Wolves, who just got a new manager, right? Who they just got a new manager, like Vitor Pereira or something. That's his name, yeah. He just won 3-0 away at Leicester in his first game. First game in charge, 3-0 off the bat. That right there just tells you that Wolves are ready for new manager bounce, and then they play United next, who are going into Wolves with Terrible form. Terrible form. We have not lost at Wolves since 2020. Since 2000 and what? When did we lose at Wolves again? I can't remember. We lost at Wolves. Hold on. The last time we lost at Wolverhampton Wanderers was 2019. That could be done on Thursday. That game could be done on Wednesday, Thursday. That game could be wraps. We have not lost 3 in a row since Louis van Gaal. This could be 3 in a row. And genuinely, bro, I see it happening. Because I think these players are just clearly not good enough for the system. Most of these players should have been shipped out a long time ago. Real talk. Why do you still have players like Garnacho still playing on the pitch? Why do you still have Garnacho playing on the pitch when he's done fuck all ever since he's come back into the squad? Why is he still getting minutes? You don't give Garnacho minutes like that. You don't. Cool, you bring him off the bench against tired legs, but why you bring him when we're 2-0 down? Bring him on when we're 1-0 down.
Oh my God.
Nah, this is embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, bro. Now, what are you saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, United fans just need to, until you guys can get rid of your players, just need to firm it. I'll be real.
I don't think Bruno was that bad. He was creating chances with himself next summer. I agree. No, Bruno was bad, bro. Real talk. He was. People just need to wake up and see it. He was terrible. He was just terrible. Just watching him play, he was fucking terrible. Just dribbling the ball, right? And just doing fuck all with it. Losing it, dribbling with it, and then what else do you do? Ping a long pass, and it goes into no man's land. It's not working with this guy. So I mean, sell him in the summer. I agree. Sell him. Manu was our best player. I disagree, man. I'm sorry. I disagree. Manu had one of his worst ever games I've seen in a United shirt ever. Like today was one of his worst ever performances I've ever seen. I'm not saying I don't rate Kobe. Of course I rate Kobe Manu. He's one of my favorite players, right at the club. Kobe Manu is one of my favorite players. But the biggest issue is, bro, he needs to play in the right position. He's not playing in the right position. He's been given the wrong role. I just don't. I feel like he's not. He's been poor, man. He's been poor today, and I rate him really highly. I think he's a very, very good player, but I just don't think he's gonna, I don't think he's gonna cut in the system playing this role. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Ahmad was poor. I agree. It was one of his worst games. I don't. I'll let him off though, because Ahmad's been one of our best players in the last few games. You know what it is? You can't expect him to turn up every single game, can you? You can't, because he's been carrying this team, bro. He in the past few games he's been carrying this team on the attack. He's been doing a lot. He's been doing a lot on the attack. He's been like, he's been the one that's our driving force in attack, and then he has a bad game because the rest don't turn up. He hardly touched the ball in that second half. I felt he hardly touched the ball, and when he touched the ball, he couldn't create much because no one was in a good position to score, or no one was in a good position on the receiving end of the ball. Pretty simple. It's just you watch Ahmad, and then he's trying to create, and then no one's in a good position to be on the receiving end of the ball. There were times where we skied shots, we just couldn't take our shots, and it just didn't go down well it just didn't go down well. Catherine won't change improvement field. I won't say he would change anything. But what I'm trying to say is the stability that he had with Ugarte next to him early when Ruud van Nistelrooy was there looked good. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
That's why I would
no,
try it again.
but what you're doing is you're comparing a purple patch for one, and two, Van Nistelrooy's system and shape is different to what you're playing now under Amarim. Casemiro's finished. He needs to leave in the summer. He needs to bring in a better player. The way Amarim plays, he doesn't play with 2 defensive midfielders. He wants a defensive midfielder with an 8. That's why he's been playing Bruno there. But obviously, you need better than Bruno. The whole Menu thing, I don't know. Menu, I don't agree Menu's a 10. He's not. I don't think he can play in the 10. But to play in this Amram system, I don't think you can play in the 8 either. So either
Mm.
Amram needs to adapt and play with a 3-man midfield and give Manu, I guess, a bit of the like freedom, or maybe Manu himself adapts his game to play more uh like a Modric, like a Cruz. But even then, he would still have to play in a 3-man midfield. I don't think you guys can play in a two. You guys can have a 2-man midfield and have Manu in it. It won't work. At least not now, anyway. And also, it doesn't have to work. Manu shouldn't be. You shouldn't build your team around Manu. He's young. He's a
Yeah.
kid. Let him
Yeah.
develop.
Agree.
Same with
No,
Ahmad, by the way. You shouldn't build a team around Ahmad yet because he's still young.
Mm.
Like let these players actually develop.
I think Amad Diallo is on his way up. Like I think he's definitely like, you know, he's one of our best performers in the last few games. Would
Yeah,
I
but
take
he's
a
one of your best performers because you don't have anyone else.
No, that's true. That's also true. But would I take a punt and make him our permanent right winger? Maybe. Because really and truly,
You mean you're a right wing back?
because he can play right wing back because he has more space. But if you play him further forward, he's better for chance creation, and he's our best chance creator, I think. So that's why I would play him in the right attacking midfielder or the right wing back. There are two positions that he can easily play. That for me is just where I feel like he's best at, on the right hand side. And the thing is in the past two games, yeah, like, or the past couple of games where I've seen something, yeah, or 2 games before the Spurs game, sorry, when I saw Anthony come on a right wing back, he actually kind of unleashed Ahmad in a way. Because if you actually look at the goals we scored, right? If you actually look at the goals we scored against Victoria Plaza, even though it's just Victoria Plaza, yes, we still got the win. Anthony actually played Ahmad through. Ahmad cut inside and took a deflection shot, and Hoyland was there for the tap in. So if you want to unleash your right winger, you need to play someone like that at right wing back. Someone who can, someone who's good enough to play you in. I'm not saying Anthony's a great player. I'm not saying he's amazing, but what he's done is he's kind of unleashed Ahmad in the sense that he's kind of put less pressure on Ahmad for him to go forward with the ball and then try to create. Anthony's playing him through. That's what I liked about Anthony. Even though I don't rate Anthony, I'm not a fan of Anthony at all. But the past 2 games, but the 2 games Anthony came on as a sub, he's changed the game in a sense. So yeah, I just think better you try play Anthony right wing back or just don't. Because I think Mazraoui's been really good, but I just think Mazraoui at right center back right now, it'll be better. I don't see where our next win is. Southampton at home. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know where our next win is gonna be. Probably in the Europa League, I guess. Because the next 2 games, I don't see us winning anymore. The next 2 games, we got Wolves away and Newcastle at home to close out the year. I don't see us winning them 2 games. Not anymore. I thought the Man City result was gonna kick us on. It didn't. It ended up not kicking us on, and we looked a lot worse than we did before the Man City game. So nah, I don't see us winning the next 2 games.
Who do you play? Wolves, and I think you can beat Newcastle. Wolves, no.
At home, yeah, we play Newcastle at home. I don't know. I don't see us beating Newcastle at home, bro. With the form Newcastle are right now, bro, he starts scoring a lot of goals, man. And he's gonna cook against this defense. Dalot is not a good defender anyway, so you put Anthony Gordon on him, he's done. He can't defend, and you put Isak in the middle, bro, it's curtains. So I don't see us beating Newcastle. I can see us getting a draw. I don't see us getting a win. He's a 10. Whether he glides with the ball, receiving in the. Do you know what it is though, King? I think Kobe Manu is better at bringing the ball forward than he is winning the ball. He's a ball progressor. People want him to be like Paul Pogba. The way he dribbles reminds me of Paul Pogba, but he's not Paul Pogba.
Who are you talking about?
Kobe Manu. The way Kobe Manu plays, it reminds me of how Pogba used to bring the ball forward, right? But people want him to be like that, and he's not. However, if you want him to be a ball progressor, you want it to be simply a ball progressor alone and not a ball winning midfielder and a ball progressor at the same time, then play him in the 10. Otherwise, I just don't see him working the system. Even though I don't think he's a 10, I think playing him there might just suit our attacking option because in the final third he can create. Kobe can create in the final third. It's just who he's creating to. It depends who he's creating to. Is he creating for himself? Is he creating for Ahmad? Is he creating for whoever's on the left? Or is he gonna create for someone up top? That's my only worry. I don't know who he's gonna create for because Hoyland's not taking his chances. Xerxes is not a striker. Xerxes is a 10. He's not a striker. So I don't know. My only worry is who he's gonna create for. But if you want a ball progressor, play him in the 10 and just drop Bruno Fernandes. Pretty simple.
Yeah, but you can't play Manu, Ahmad, and Xerxes as
no,
10 or as your front three because you have no goal threat.
I wouldn't play Xerxes. I wouldn't play Xerxes. I would play Hoyland up front. Even though I don't rate Hoyland, I just think Hoyland is the strike as a natural number 9, as a natural finisher. I think he's better. As a finisher, he's better than Xerxes. As a footballer, Xerxes is by far the better player. Xerxes, as a footballer, just in general, is by far a better player. It's just the finishing. I think Hoyland's better at that. That's all. But I don't know. And yeah, the quick 1-2s, I like that. I like the 1-2s that Manu creates, and I think you need to utilize that. You need to utilize him to his strength. Otherwise, he's not gonna strive in the system. And I feel, and if he doesn't work in the system, I could see him leaving. I could see him leaving, because what's the point of keeping someone here? What's the point of keeping him here, and just letting him rot when he can't play the system? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Manu is an 8. I don't think he's an 8 or a 6 or just a 10. I just think he's a player. You just give him the ball, he just goes forward with it well. But what he likes to do is he tries to wins the ball back, and he tries to dribble himself out of trouble, and then he loses the ball. That's not what I want. I want Kobe to just bring it forward and not have to dribble himself out of trouble, because then that's when he loses it, and then we counter, and then that's where we're in deep shit. That's why I don't see it like that. That's why I don't want it. That's why I don't want Kobe to play in a very deep role. I want him to play further forward. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't. The thing is, passing 15 to 20 yards is not what Manchester United should be doing, anyways. Playing 15 to 20-yard passes is not what Man United should be doing. Man United should just be playing simple passes, playing through the lines, not playing long balls forward. I don't want that. I don't like that from Bruno Fernandes. He always does that, and he doesn't, and it's not good enough. It's poor. Big up, bro. Every time, big up, man, big up. Shivam would say I would play Ahmad Xerxes as the 2-10s up for. Maybe I would do that as well, but at the same time, Hoyland and Xerxes don't link up with each other. They don't link up with each other. That's the problem. They don't link up well. You can't play Xerxes and Hoyland together. You play one or the other, because they don't link well. You either play Xerxes up front or you play Hoyland up front, and you don't play the other one. You don't play the one next to him. You play Ahmad on the right, and then you play someone on the left 10, or you just play Hoyland up front, and then you play Bruno on the left 10. Otherwise, I don't see it working, because Hoyland and Xerxes never link up with each other. Hoyland, we know what it is with Hoyland. He doesn't do those give and goes. Whenever he receives the ball up top, yeah, he doesn't lay it off fast enough, and then he loses the ball. He falls over. It's hard. It's just for me. I just don't see him playing. I just don't know what it is with Hoyland. He always loses the ball, and he falls. He spends most of the time on the floor. He spends most of the time on the floor. He can't. For me, he should not be our striker going forward. I want United to prioritize that number 9 role in the summer or in January. Try and go and get the number 9 and see if it fixes anything. That left wing back position, it is a must. That left hand side is looking peak. It is looking peak. Bro, Dalot is not linking up with anyone. He's not taking on his man. He's not crossing the ball like he used to. Dalot is, for me, also has to go. I don't rate Dalot at all. I think Dalot is not that good. He's not been good for the past few games. He's not looked the same Diogo Dalot that I saw last season or the year before. For me, get him gone, sign someone at left wing back, a natural left-footed left wing back, and then go from there. Go from there. Just go from there. Don't play a right-footed left wing back. It's not going to work in the system. It isn't. You play a natural left-footed left wing back. You play a right-footed right wing back. That's that. That's all you ever have to do. You don't play a right-footed left wing back and a right-footed right wing back together. It does not work. These two fullbacks, right? It's never going to work with United. It's not. Big up Garcia, big up, bro. It's not saying his best attribute is dribbling with the ball and doing 1-2s in the top final third. What you can link up with this team. What do you think of this though? Because I'm kind of confused what he means. Saying his best attribute is dribbling with the ball and doing 1-2s in the final third. Can you link up with you? Okay, here's what I'll say, bro. Doing 1-2s in the final third, right? That's what Xerxes and Menu can do together. That's what I saw when they came on against Spurs. They were linking up. Players like Ahmad, Xerxes, and Menu were linking up when they came off the bench, not when they started the game. Not when they started the game. When they came on against tired defenses and fresh legs coming on against tired defense. That's what I felt. It kind of worked. Because you took off the dross and you brought on these guys that are naturally gifted and naturally technical on the ball. These given goals, they're good in the final third. But United, the mistakes costed us that day. The mistakes in-game mistakes, individual errors costed us against Spurs. So that game would have been won if we hadn't made those early mistakes. These three coming on early in the second half would have helped us win the game. But for me, these three came on a bit too late. In my opinion, at least. They came on a bit too late. What are you saying, bro?
About United in general, or what specifically?
Nah, just about the things I said. I was just reading out the comments. I spoke about Dallo. I spoke about, a bit about Anthony. I spoke a bit about Højlund and Xerxes not being able to link up. And yeah, that's it really. That's all I really said. Well, what are your thoughts on these players? Because I don't think they work in the system.
Why?
I'm talking about Anthony is not the best player, but he came on and changed the game that day. I spoke about Højlund not being great because I don't think Højlund's that good of a striker. He's better off the bench than he's starting. Rather than just starting him, you go and sign someone, or sign someone that can score goals, because Højlund just spends most of his time on the floor. He spends most of his time on the floor. He does not hold play well, and he does not do these given goals quick enough. And when he does, he loses the ball. He passes it to the wrong player, and he just wastes the chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we all know United squad isn't that good. So I just think United fans should just chill until the summer, because you're gonna see things like this. So I don't know. It is what it is. It could get very bad, and I don't know. I think Amorim's stupid to go to Man United. What, you either go in the summer, or I don't know. I think it's stupid to go mid-season. I think
I agree.
If things go bad with Man United, you're possibly ruining or at least stunting your career. Yeah, man. I don't know. I rate Amorim highly. I just think the whole thing is it's just a mess. It's a complete mess.
Do you know what the biggest issue is? We should have given him the we should have appointed this guy in the summer. We should have hired him in the summer. That's another season thrown away by Ineos, because now that they've hired this guy mid-season, you sack Ten Hag after our results have gotten so much worse. Our results could have been a lot better if we had a new manager in the summer. Why are you still holding on to a man that helped us finish 8th and with one of the worst records that ever been broken at this football club? It's a joke. This guy should have been hired in the summer and given his own players, given his own given a preseason to change things, and given a transfer window to bring in his own players, and also to have warm weather training in other countries, to try and build a system that can suit these players and build an identity. You would have had a whole summer to do that, but then you've given Ten Hag a new contract and he signed it, and guess what? We've now wasted half a season. We could have appointed this guy earlier. Instead of appointing him in mid-season, could have kept Ruben Nistelrooy to at least January, bring him in January, and try to bring in players in January if possible. But guess what? It's not going to work now. I felt that bringing him in mid-season was kind of a big risk. Even though I rate the appointment, I'm a massive fan of Ruben Amorim. I think the appointment is great. It might have been the
I
wrong
don't think
timing.
keeping Ruud until January, then bringing Amram in January, what would that have done?
I mean, because him coming in January would have meant that he could have got a transfer window to himself. Maybe a bit of maybe a fresher start. Can bring in his own
But
players.
why? Because he would have had less time to work with the squad and see who's actually good enough and who isn't.
No, that's true. But at the same time, that because he doesn't have a transfer window to bring in anyone now, so that's what I'm saying. We should have brought him in the summer. We should have fired him in the summer. We should have fired Ten Hag a long time ago, and we should have brought him in the summer to bring in his own players, bring in his own identity. That's where I felt that Ineos have kind of thrown away another season for us now. I felt like Ineos have kind of thrown it away. We only have the Europa League left, and I don't know about the FA Cup, but the Europa League is the Europa League is left.
Yeah.
The Europa League is the only thing we have left now, because if you want to get Champions League next season, Europa League is the only way forward.
And that's assuming that you'll win the Europa League, because the way you guys are performing, who knows?
In the Europa League, we've been performing okay. It's just in the league we've not been good. It's just in the league we've not been good. I think in the Europa League we've looked okay. It's just that day we kind of fell behind thanks to a stupid mistake again. It's this. You know what this team has? It has individual errors that always try and fucks us up in a moment that I don't. That in a game where I'm just like, okay, this game is yours now. It's all in your hands. Just play it. Just play it. Keep on playing the same way you're playing. Don't mess it up, and then you go and make an individual mistake, and you have to try and get back into the game again. You go back to square one. Keep playing like you're 2-0 down, but then whenever United play like they're 2-0 down, their heads collapse. Sorry, heads collapse. Their heads drop. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah,
these.
I don't know. This United and everything that's going on, it reminds me of Chelsea 2 years ago, getting rid of Tuchel after the window ended, bringing in Potter, then bringing in Lampard. Like, your squad is really not good at all. Really, really not good.
It isn't. It's terrible.
And it's not even about necessarily just player quality. It's just gelling as an actual squad.
Yeah.
Like, as a team. Like, I look at the way Ipswich play. They don't have better players per se, but they play as an actual team.
A better example, Bournemouth today. A much better example, Bournemouth today, bro. Iraola came in like what mid December, like December last season or something, and then what happens? The team gels. Who does he have? He had who was it? Who had Solanke scoring goals for them? Solanke was bagging goals for them. Now they have Kirkes and Semenyo doing the good works. And now look, Bournemouth are fifth in the table. They're so consistent. They're above Manchester City in the table, which is mad to even think about. Like, it's just I find it very, very weird how other managers can go into these clubs and bring in a style of play, but only with Manchester United you have these players that the fans claim to be so good, but they just can't get the best out of. If the fans really think the players are bad, why do the fans keep on saying that we should keep this and that guy, we shouldn't sell this and that guy? Why don't you just be players out then?
Because you guys rate your players. That's why people
That's the biggest.
you don't realize how bad your squad is.
That's the
And the
biggest
only
problem.
way you're going to realize it is if you guys continue to drop this season. You might need that to get rid of your players. You might need to be very bad,
No,
which is what Chelsea did 2 years ago. We had to be that bad to get rid of the players.
But the biggest problem is United can't get rid of these players because they are massive wages, and that's the biggest issue. When
Chelsea
we
did.
if,
Sell them to Saudi. We got rid of our
so,
players.
the only way I see us getting rid of these players if we do swap deals right now, is because no one's gonna want to buy what
No one's gonna want to do swap deals though. Bro, you know swap deals are not that common.
no, they're not. But at the same time, because who are we gonna sell to Saudi? The Rashford's gonna go to PSG. I mean, can Arsenal really afford Rashford's contract? Not really.
Casemiro and Ericsson can go Saudi, but you guys also need like money. So you need to fund the transfer window. You might need to actually sell players
The
for
only way
profit because I don't know how much money Ineos will actually pump in the transfer budget, and more than likely United are not going to be in Champions League football next season. So you're going to need it from somewhere, and I don't know. This is something that Joey and RSM kept saying. Maybe Man United might need to sell a player or a big player to fund a transfer budget.
Yeah.
And maybe it'd be like Menu or Ahmad because the rest of your players are not really worth big money.
I'd say Bruno Fernandes.
But that doesn't mean anything. He's not worth big money.
His contract is big though.
No, but I'm talking about actual money. He's not worth the big money. So if you sell him, you're not going to get big money for him.
If we sell Rashford, Bruno, Casemiro, who else?
You're gonna get 60 to 75 million for those players combined. You're not gonna get a lot.
I reckon 85 million around.
That's still not a lot of money. The 85 million cannot fund the transfer budget. Chelsea were able to fund the transfer window with Havertz and Mount alone.
Yeah. But you know what it is? Last year we sold. You know what it is? Last season we made 200 million in sales. Like that's the biggest sales we ever made. That's the largest number of sales we ever made in football club history.
I know, and that's the point. That's not common. Chelsea make money in player sales on a regular. Right. So that's my point. Does it not worry you?
Sorry, what were you saying? You cut off there a bit.
Does it not work? That's the point. You only did it once. So does it not worry you where you're going to get money from because everyone keeps saying you need to get rid of the players in your squad, which I agree. But you guys can't do what Chelsea did. People talk about like we spent so much money. Yes, because we had to not just get rid of a bad squad, but we had to revamp basically our whole club. Our youth academy players also were trash. We had to revamp a whole culture at Chelsea, just like what Man United need to do. However, you guys cannot do what we did. You guys are not going to be able to spend $1 billion in like a year or two because how are you going to fund that?
We spent it over 10 years. We spent $1 billion over 10 years. We didn't spend.
Yeah, but that's my point. You guys can't. You guys like even at the beginning with Clear Lake and Bowley and stuff. I backed what they were doing from the beginning. Like you've noticed, I've never turned against them. The only thing I've hated was the manager appointment. Everything else they've done behind the scenes, I've always defended. Even though I didn't like the stockpiling quote of young players, but it was something that Roman also did. So, and I didn't have a Roman either. I saw what they were doing. I look at United and Ineos, and I'm not the only person who thinks this, by the way. A lot of United fans have said this, like Flawless and Sheik and yourself, that you guys don't trust Ineos.
Yeah.
If you don't trust Ineos, because whether or not they actually own the club and they're in bed with the Glazers and whatever, you don't trust Ineos. What makes you think Amorim will be able to act? Amorim, not in terms of him being a good manager. I think he is a very good manager. I think he is, tactically, I think he's up there in the league with the likes of Slot and Maresca and Pep. I think he's very good. But being a good manager doesn't mean anything if you don't have the tools. We look at Ange, another manager I rate highly at Spurs. He doesn't have the tools to really do anything long term.
But he gets the best.
What makes people think Amorim can do anything long term at Man United? Because we see how bad the squad is, And people can say, fine, you can say, fine, he didn't get a full season. But if he had if he came in the summer, what makes people think he would have been allowed to get rid of everyone? What makes like I'm just saying, like, if there's probably, and I said this to Flawless, does it not worry you about Amram failing at Man United because of Ineos? That should be something
That
United fans should actually be talking about.
that,
Because this
that
situation, people don't real. Some people do, like Flawless knows how bad it is, and a few others, but I don't think a lot of United fans realize how truly bad it is at Man United. Chelsea fans didn't realize how bad it was at Chelsea. I was the only one that did, really, and people didn't listen to me. And I kept telling them how bad we are and how bad we've been ran for years under Roman. People didn't want to listen to me because it's Roman. Everyone loves Roman, yada yada. We won a Champions League just like a year ago at that time, so people were still high off with that and thinking the squad was good enough. It wasn't until we had to fail so badly and start breaking bad records at Chelsea people to realize just what was happening and how we had to get rid of Mount, we had to get rid of Havertz, we have to get rid of players. Man United, people won't like realize how bad it is until you actually experience. So what you guys are going through now, what you guys went through with Ten Hag, that's not bad. You guys have to go through something very, very bad, very critical. You need to. There's a saying, burn everything to the ground to start again. Kind of need to do that. It needs to get volatile to build back up again. And that's within the mindset of your fan base as well, not just in terms of like your ownership. Because your fan base, they get gassed very easily. It was only
we do.
like I remember it's just 24 hours where everyone hated Ineos, they were bad. All of a sudden you sack Ten Hag, you bring in Amarim, and you love Ineos again. That's crazy. You can't react like that you can't react like that. People saying that, oh, we'll be good, we'll go up to top six and whatever. You beat City last week. United fans were gassed about it, which is, again, I didn't hate rain on the parade. You're entitled to be gassed when you beat your rivals. But people thinking that you guys can go and get top six, you can go and get top four. If you have a good summer window, you can go and challenge for the league next season. Now you lose 3-0 to Bournemouth. And United fans are, oh, we're actually bad again. But what will happen is, I think you play Liverpool soon, you play Arsenal soon, you'll beat them. And then all of a sudden, everything's up again. Like, it's too up and down. And the same thing happened at Chelsea a couple of years ago. Way too up and down, up and down.
Yeah, it
needs stability. And a worry for me is Amarim will be the casualty of that, of breaking things down to the ground. And I don't want that because I actually rate Amarim highly. I rate him highly.
So do
I don't want him to be the casualty of that. But it's Man United, so it's not my club, so it is what it is. But I'm just speaking things from what I genuinely see this because same thing happened at my club. And when I was saying all of these things, people didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
So
I hear it, bro. The thing is, yeah, like I'm only concerned about, what his player profile is come to summer, because that's my biggest worry. Like, because if he still rates some of these players, then I just think he's gonna get himself sacked. Because real talk, his tactics, the way he plays, the style of football he plays, is actually really entertaining. I've seen a bit of what he's done at Sporting, yeah, and I've seen a bit of, like, of a passage to play of how United can play, but it's with the wrong group of players. It's with the players that have got managers sacked on a consistent basis. And I'm not saying Erik Ten Hag has been great. I'm not saying Erik Ten Hag has been a great manager, but these players have not been good with him either. And to make things worse, like, he's had to go. He's had to spend even more money on these players. Yeah, he's had to spend even more money on bringing some more players that have just not worked out. Because he's brought in Højlund, he's brought in Xerxes, he's brought in, who else has he brought? Onana, right? He's brought in Ericsson, Lissandro Martinez, Taro Malacia. How many of those players do you like? How many? If I had to name you a list of Erik Ten Hag signings, how many of those signings do you think have been a success at the football club? Like what? Casemiro in his first season was a success. I mean, when we won the Carabao Cup, when we were in that run of games, he was pivotal for us. I'd say.
Casemiro has not been a successful signing.
I mean, first season he has, second season, third season not as great.
The first season when he was involved in batterings.
He didn't play 6-3 against Man City. He came off the bench. He didn't play
No, but
against.
like he was involved in batterings at Man United. Like people
only,
people think that Ten Hag was bad at Man United last season and this season. No, he was also bad his first season. But because you guys won the Carabao Cup, you guys wanted to call it a success. It wasn't a successful season.
It wasn't a successful
not really.
Season.
But
we didn't also winning the treble. That's not successful.
You guys haven't had any. Ten Hag hasn't had any successful signing. I think Alessandro, like the whole passion gimmick he does, is all well and good, but like he's not that good of a centre back. I actually rate the lit, but again, we'll see how long that actually pans out. I rate Mazwari. That's actually a good signing. On our previous stream here, Amram is doing the job with two hands behind his back. Not indication of United's philosophy evolving for the better. Also, then hope comes from club agenda. Yeah, thank you, Shark. That's what I've been saying, and I saw the same thing at Chelsea, and that's why when Clearly came in, I actually like backed them and defended them because people were saying that we were wasting money. But if you're spending money to that amount, to me, that's not like you're spending that money to make things work. You know what I mean? People say we spent $1 billion. Yes. No billionaire is going to spend that amount of money if he doesn't want his product to actually be successful. And whether Clearlake and Bowley and Iqbali are Chelsea fans, I don't care. I don't want you to be a Chelsea fan. I just want you to run your business properly, which is what we're doing. They want us to be a success because, and yes, people can say, oh, but they want to make profit. Yes. And what's the best way to make money in any business? Be successful. Whether that means your business is, like for a football club, if my club, my business is consistently competing and winning trophies, winning major honors,
then
I'm going to make the most money from that. Look at Chelsea. We're going to sign with Jordan for next season. Chelsea, look at how football fans in general, not Chelsea, not PSG fans, football fans in general were buying PSG kits because of the Jordan brand. Football fans will now buy Chelsea kits because we have Jordan. Maybe not English fans or Premier League fans, but you're going to have like Irish fans. You're going to have people in like America or South America who are going to buy it because of Jordan. Jordan's a major brand. We're getting links to try and get I can't remember the airlines, but they're like Saudi Airlines or Arab Airlines. I can't remember the names of them, so apologies for that. We're trying to get them as a sponsor. Bro, we're trying to get Mercedes-Benz as a sponsor. That and fine. People can say that's PR to make more money for to get people to buy shirts and stuff. Obviously. But if we're successful, wearing Jordan, wearing Mercedes-Benz, winning a Champions League, winning a Premier League, that's only good for the club. We're going to the FIFA World Club Cup. We're making 60 mil just being in the competition. Never mind getting out of our group or winning it. We just PSR like earlier today. They announced that we're cool. Like people talk about the money we spent, but we make our money back. So, and like Flawless talks about Man United and they print money because they're a major club, which they are. They're the top two biggest clubs in the world. But the way Chelsea are moving, we're obviously trying to eventually get to that sort of status, which should obviously be the aim. I look at the likes of Arsenal; they're not Arsenal, but Man United, like people say, Man United, they're a big club. You're always going to be a big club. I mean, yes and no. Like you have to stay competitive and stay winning to be a big club. You can't stay at the top forever because look at AC Milan in 20 years ago, how high a regard they were looked at, and what are they now? Look at
bro, their fans protested against the owners, and guess what? They won the league a year later. They won the league a year later.
Yeah, like I don't know, Man United. I just hope people actually, like realize how bad it. Like I was watching Saeed's show and stuff. The
Yeah,
clip I put out on Instagram and TikTok, like Flawless talking about how like United can get top four because like about winning 3 out of your next 4 games or whatever, and you guys can go above Bournemouth or something like that. Which yes, but can you guys be consistent enough to even do that? I
nope.
remember last season at Chelsea, and even the season beforehand, like people were saying, "Oh, but we're only 6 points off eighth or whatever," and I'm like, "Yes, but do you trust us to get?" It's not just about getting 6 points; it's about winning consistently because the team above you are there above you for a reason because they're better than you. Eventually, they'll drop points, but you have to be consistent enough to capitalize on them dropping those points, which you're not going to do for whatever reason. And maybe you'll go into the summer January and you'll sign a couple of players and you'll get a bit better, maybe. But like people need to really realize how bad. Uh, People need to really realize how bad this is. Like we're United. People, and I'm saying this as someone who, yes, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I don't actually hate Man United. I respect their history. Like me growing up with Man United being dominant, I respect your history. So I'm saying this as
Mm.
someone who doesn't actually hate your club. You know, like Amarim was speaking in your post match and your stadium was leaking. Like stuff like that is actually embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like your institution has massively been it's crumbling. Your stadium is
Yeah.
literally crumbling. Your institution is crumbling. People don't
Mm.
realize that because they want to do Bruno and Garnacho stands. People don't realize how bad it actually is at your club.
Mm.
But
No,
yeah,
you're right, man. You're right, and it just the fan base is it's all about sentiment really. It's not about winning anymore. Because nowadays football social media has now created the culture of we have to rate this guy, we have to rate that guy, we can't speak badly, we can't criticize, we can't do this and that. It's almost as if like they've kind of taken over the way football fandom is now run nowadays, or it's now or now goes on, because it's almost as if like if you say something bad about the club, that the whole army of them will be on your case. And I'm like, why do you care so much about what we think when we supported the club for years, and you just started supporting the football club? You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost as if like they have a say in what we say. It's
true.
like we can't say what we want anymore, because it's like what we say is seen as like negative, or it's seen as um like, as you say, toxic or something like that. It's like we can't call it out anymore. I've been calling out the crap for a long time. I've been saying that these players have not been good enough for a long time. I've seen this since when Ten Hag joined. I saw that. I've seen that Maguire ain't good enough. Even though Maguire played today, even though Maguire barely played,
I mean,
still ain't good.
it is. I mean, it is toxic, but like the reality, like we're not kids anymore, bro. Like the real world is dark. Like
Yeah,
not everything is like sunshine and rainbows. You can't have people protect you. Like it is what it is. Like when I'm seeing what Faz did to Garnacho or said to Garnacho,
he
like
said it
okay,
himself.
like in fairness, to be fair, what like I'll use it in relation to Chelsea. Would I have said that to like actually even what Faz said wasn't even bad. He was just like
No,
he said something like what I hope you score today, something about your touch or whatever. I don't even think
Genesis,
that's bad, bro.
we're gonna, yeah, it's not bad.
Bro, the worst things that have been said to football
The whole
players and stuff,
UK was
that's not
not.
necessarily that bad. And again, Garnacho responded with a joke. It is what it is. It's just banter. You move on. But like the fact of you have stands nowadays who are going to defend players to the ground, bro. I saw that Chelsea with Havertz and now it's disgusting. Like it's okay to criticize a player for just if they've played bad or a manager if they've done made a bad decision. Like I'm seeing United fans who are either going to defend Amarim highly and not be able to criticize him now, or
Mm,
they're going to overly criticize and go at Amarim because they
yeah,
thought Ten Hag was unfairly sacked. And like, why? Stan culture is for me is weird. You should be
bro.
supporting your club.
The
And
Rashford situation.
even
Yeah.
then, like I support Chelsea, but I'm not going to be a stan of Chelsea. You saw
Mm,
how vocal I was about the last few seasons, and even about how we were with Roman. Just because I love the club doesn't mean I'm just going to be like, oh, I'm not going to. I'm going to be blind to how bad things are. I'm just going to accept it and whatever. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm going to be honest because I want what's best for my club, even if it means I'm going to have to
Yeah.
say some things that sound bad. And yes, there's
Mm.
probably a way to go about things and whatever, fairs, you know. But I don't know, those who don't, there's a saying, I think it's maybe Jamaican, I'm not sure. Like those who don't hear must feel. And if you don't like, if you can't listen to what we're saying, sometimes you
Mm.
have to experience it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
if you're told not to put your hand in the fire and you don't listen to me and you put your hand in the fire, you're gonna get burnt. And that's how you learn not to put your hand in the fire. So we'll see.
No, it's just nowadays, like, you really brought me to my attention. Like, it's the Rashford stands now that have really taken over social media. Because, bro, these past 3 games have really shown what certain Manchester United fans are, and really shown what Rashford stands are. Because some of these people might not even be a fan of the club; they might just be a fan of a player. And you know what it is? It becomes toxic because when you argue with fans of the football club itself, then it causes division. And I'm like, these people love to rep and they love Rashford so much. They'd be like, oh, but now you drop Rashford. See the past three. See what happens now. You lost 3. No, we could have done with Rashford today and such and such. And I'm like, but you weren't there when we won the Manchester Derby. So why are you why are you here after Bournemouth then? It's like, these people are flip flops, man. They'll go they'll go at you when things go wrong, but when things go right, they're so quiet as if like they're not going to be there. Like so I see so many United fans are like, bro, when Rashford leaves, yeah, please just go with them. Like I can't like have them support my football club.
But
It's
they
disgusting.
won't. They won't. Because I
They
saw
won't.
that Chelsea, what will happen is they'll sell, you guys will get rid of Rashford, and the guy
Mm.
that comes in to replace Rashford will get a lot of criticism and abuse.
Literally, yeah, Xerxes just joined in, yeah, bro. People talk about Garnacho being young. People talk about Lenny Yoro. People talk about all these guys being young. But if you actually go and look at Xerxes' age, he's not as he's not he's about the same age as Garnacho. So there are certain United fans be like, oh, we want Xerxes sold. So where's the same energy for Garnacho then? Because they're both around the same age, aren't they? And they
Yeah, but
both like terribly. So where's the same energy then? Garnacho's a young player, and then they hate on Paul Pogba, but they're not. But they forgetting Paul Pogba was an academy graduate. Like it's a joke, bro. It's a joke because some of these people like they're forgetting, yeah, they're forgetting that Garnacho is like they're forgetting that Paul Pogba was an academy graduate, but they're out there abusing him. We like, oh, we can't abuse Rashford. He's Manc born and bred, bro. Paul Pogba's homegrown. It counts. It counts. David Beckham
yeah,
was
but
home.
because
United
you bought him for a big transfer, that's what.
So she's 24, Garnacho's 20. Doesn't matter, bro. I'm just saying I'm just saying the fact that they're both young, right? Is that the energy is different.
I mean, 24 is not that young, but I mean, I get what you mean. For me, I don't care about age. I care if you're actually good or not. And
Yeah.
Garnacho, not that Garnacho is terrible. I think Garnacho is better than what people give him credit for. However, he's still not good enough for Man United. So
The saying goes, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And for me, he ain't good enough. He's old enough to be good, but he ain't good enough. People who try to compare him to Ronaldo at United at a young age. I'm like, Ronaldo could do much more than what Garnacho could do in a much better team as well. Garnacho's not even helping us in this situation. 24 is not young, bro. It does not. I'm not saying 24 is not young or anything, but what I'm trying to say is people need to have the same energy. It's almost just like because Xerxes just joined, give him time. Garnacho's just coming to the team, give him time. That's what I'm saying. People need to have the same energy for other players. If you're gonna show a certain level of energy for this guy, show the same level of energy for that guy then. Because Garnacho just came into to the team. He's just been promoted, right? 2 years ago. Xerxes just joined the club and people want him out now. So it's almost as if like, there's no the level of energy is not the same. Everyone just wants this. They love to jump shit. They love to move the goalposts so fast. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost as if like it's poor. Like it's just poor judgment for me. But yeah, I'm just gonna read some comments here. My ideal number 9 target, Gyökeres, obviously, or Marmoush. I think those.
Marmoush isn't really a striker.
Oh,
He's like
is he
he's an
left?
inside forward. He's a like a inside forward, right winger. He's not really a
Mm.
striker.
I think
Yor-
Gyökeres would be the
Gyökeres will be interesting, but again, are you not doing the same thing that you did with Ten Hag, where you're buying in a former player?
no,
Obviously, Amarim's better than Ten Hag. That's not what I'm saying. But like,
no, no. But
you
but the
just
thing
want
is
to
with
buy a former player.
but the thing with Ten Hag is he bought more than one player that formerly played for him. I'm only talking about Gyökeres here. I'm not talking about anyone else. Only Gyökeres is the only guy. Because remember when David Moyes came to United,
Yeah,
Fellaini
but
as well.
Gyökeres is going to cost big money,
No, he is. You're right. You're right. He is. He
which
is.
is what you guys did with Anthony.
The market value is gonna rise because how many clubs are interested in this guy this summer? Like how many clubs actually
I
want the
just
guy?
think there are cheaper options. Like Osimhen would cost 60 mil.
Mm. I take Osimhen. I think I'm not saying he's a great player, but as a goal scorer, he's fantastic. I'd say I need a goal scorer in my team. So I think Osimhen would be fantastic. I think Osimhen will work in this team. But the thing is, the only issue is the creativity for him. My only worry is the creativity. So that's why I'm saying I'd rather just I'd sign Gyökeres, someone who can make runs and behinds, someone who can take the ball in the stride and just finish it. So I think Gyökeres is good. Salah play the 100%. Yeah, Salah's gonna get player of the year for sure. Ru's not ready. Yeah, maybe he's not ready. But talking about this season, yeah, this Bournemouth were good players, man. And Bruno 30 minute at best. Facts, probably 30 minute at best. But which idiot's talking about though? I'm talking about Mazraoui, De Ligt, Euro. They've been good players. I'm not saying they've been bad, right? They also signed also signed who else did they sign? Summer. Xerxes been good. Xerxes been okay. So these players have been bad. I don't think those idiots with 200 million is I'd say it's not a good judgment to say they call them idiots, but I'd say they've not lived up to the potential or the hype. But what I'm saying, they've been good signings. Just people need to calm down with them a little bit. I rate the signings we made in the summer, but it's just we need to do more. We didn't do well
I,
enough.
I'll be realistic, or I'll be the window you guys had. I don't know. I need to see how you guys are with the future because
Mm,
I'll be honest. I've seen you guys have windows like this before, where I mean, granted, you didn't bring in Amarim in the summer, but if
yeah.
everyone keeps saying it's Amarim's type of player, so I'll
But
say it's his. Hold on, I'll say it's his. I've seen you guys do it where you bring in a new manager, you give him a great window, you'll bring in
mm,
you'll bring in a, a big name like a De Ligt, like a Paul Pogba when you got Jose, like
that, that,
a big
that's
name like a
Varane.
Anthony when you got Amarin, etc. No, hold on, like an Anthony when you got uh, Ten Hag, etc. You'll bring in a young talent, a Lenny Euro, a Martial. You'll do this sort of stuff. I've seen you guys have these sort of windows before, of where you start off great, and then um, the next summer you'll regress with the manager in terms of backing him, and then the next summer you'll regress, and then it'll just all fall apart, and the manager will
Mm,
get sacked. Now, granted, fine, people can say Ten Hag's not good enough, Ollie's not good enough, Jose wasn't, whatever. I'm not arguing the quality of the manager. I'm saying that if you're going to go along that same path, are you guys actually going to back Amarim in future summers and future windows? I'm not sure. Now, people can say we have Ineos, but if you guys don't rate Ineos and they're in bed with the Glazers, why would things get much better? So that's why I keep saying the situation you have at Amarin, people don't realize how bad it might actually be. Like, and even if you do get rid of a Bruno and a Garnacho and a Rashford,
mm.
this is why
The
people keep saying it's the same squad you guys had under Jose and Ollie. Maybe in terms of different players being there, but it's the same bad squad because the players you have are still bad. If you get rid of maybe you don't have a Dan James, but you have
yeah.
Anthony and Garnacho. Actually, it's even worse. Dan James is better than them, so you have a worse
No,
squad.
he is. He is. Dan James is actually not. Dan James wasn't actually that bad.
And I remember telling United fans Dan James is actually good and that you can get something out of him. and that he's a
Yeah,
good backup player to have. But now you have Anthony as the starter, so
that's the thing. And Dan James for me wasn't actually that bad of a player. It's just how we used him. We didn't use him correctly at times. And
I don't know. Kobe,
I don't mean to cut in. Yeah, I just want to say this. Like, I agree with you. Like, because we're bringing in these players that they're not bad players, but you're bringing into a toxic squad of players who have just been terrible around them. So like Bruno's been terrible, Garnacho's been terrible, Rashford's been terrible, Hoyland's not great, right? So you're bringing in these players into already into a shite squad. We ain't doing how do you say it? We ain't doing as well with them because they're already around a bad squad itself. You know what I'm saying? So if you bring in these players into a much better squad, into like for example, if we say we had like a I'm just gonna give you an example. Like this is not like a okay. If we bring into like a Florian Wirtz, if we bring these players into like a squad with Florian Wirtz, we bring into a squad with like let's say what do you call bring into a squad with how do you say it? And Alfonso Davies. This is an example, yeah. I'd say, okay, you know what? It makes sense. But you bring in these players with a bad squad. You have to replace them. We did replace them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Uh. Not much longer, bro. We're gonna talk about Chelsea in a bit. I'll let you talk about Chelsea now, bro. What more from you right now? You you got the
oh
floor is
well,
yours.
I've already spoke about Chelsea really, and there's not much more else I can say. Like
Nah, the
Everton
game.
defended brilliantly defensively against us. We just
Mm,
didn't break them down. We needed better quality. Jackson didn't necessarily get much service. However, he did have a chance in the first half that he should have put away. Sancho was ineffective. Neto was ineffective. Well, no, actually, Neto had a good game to be fair, particularly in the first half.
mm.
Enzo had a poor first half, was better in the second. Palmer didn't do anything. Palmer should have got hooked. Uh, the
That's
Sassy
true.
should not have played at all. Gusto shouldn't have played as the inverted fullback. He should have played right back or right centre back in the back three.
Yeah, yeah.
He should have started Vega. Yeah, I don't know. And then he brought on Nkuku and took off Jackson, which made no sense. But I don't know. We'll 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 see going forward, I guess.
Did you miss a lot of chances, or did you not really have many like clear cut chances today in front of goal? Because I didn't see your game. I was following the United game, so I couldn't watch your game.
We didn't create any clear cut chances. Everton defended brilliantly. They defended brilliantly.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I would have loved it if Chelsea won today, but it is what it is. I mean, you move on to next week. Um, we have the Boxing Day fixtures. Um, and obviously Liverpool. I mean, I didn't watch the game much. I mean, they slapped Spurs up. Um, that's all I could really say about Liverpool. I mean, they just well clear of Tottenham, I guess, and Man City just shit again. Like I called it, Man City. Man City drop points. Let's talk about Man City. Let's spend at least 10 minutes on Man City, because bro, like we're gonna keep saying the same things over and over again. But like, how many more times is City gonna keep on playing like this? I reckon that these players have just given up. I reckon the City have just given up, bro. What are you saying?
City or City, they're just waiting until January to fix it. That's what they're doing. Pep is just going to wait until January, and then they'll spend in January, and then so well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, they're gonna need a lot of players in January. I think Pep's just struggling because these lot are not trying, man. I watched Aston Villa. I watched the Villa with Villa play, yeah. And if you actually go look at the way Morgan Rogers plays football, like bro, I kid you not, like that was some of the best, like that was some of the best I've seen from what you call from a
Bro,
player.
Morgan Rogers, he's from the City Academy, which shows. Like you can tell that guy like grew up watching Yaya Toure. The way
Mm,
he's able to just pick up the ball and just drive from midfield, like you can tell that's what he grew up on.
No, you're right. I mean, like he looks like a very 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 good player on the ball. He's very very good technical, and I think a lot of big clubs will be interested in him in the summer. I reckon. I reckon maybe like I hope United go. I hope United try again because he would be class in the field. Trust me, he'd walk straight into this team right now. I would love a player like Morgan Rogers on my team. But so just watching him the way he played, yeah. I hope what he's doing is not an audition to go back to Man City or anything. But what I'm trying to say is the guy looks like looks like the truth. Like he's a very very good player, and I think Aston Villa
Rogers, yeah.
very very good player, very good player, and you've also got players like John Duran who's looking very very good. Ollie Watkins is barely going to get minutes now because John Duran is looking very very good, and then Morgan Rogers in midfield. I think Villa look like a good team. Defensively, maybe not as great because Villa conceded a stupid goal at the end. But going forward, Villa look deadly, man. And I reckon that City have what the Everton and Leicester next two games. It's not looking good. It really ain't looking good, man. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Um, and yeah, I mean Liverpool just yeah. Let's actually quickly before we wrap it up because I don't think we're gonna do a show midweek before Boxing Day. Yeah, let's just preview the games that are coming out for Boxing Day. So we got City Everton. What's your score prediction for that game? I'm gonna go with a 1-1
Oh,
draw.
at the Etihad.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll go 1-1 draw.
I'm going to on Everton.
I'd love that.
Ooh,
Uh
no, 2-0, 2-0 Everton actually.
oh, that'd be funny. I'll go 1-1. Chelsea Fulham. I reckon you will win 3-0 or 3-1 or something at home.
Chelsea Fulham.
Yeah, at Stamford Bridge.
2-2 Chelsea.
2-2. 2-2 draw.
2-2. Yeah, 2-2 draw.
Ooh. Newcastle Aston Villa is a good game. I'll go with 2-1 Newcastle. They're the form team right now. Newcastle. What do you say?
Newcastle v
Aston Villa. That's a good game.
Uh, ooh. 3-3 draw.
Yeah, Newcastle are different at home. I'm gonna go with the 2-1 Newcastle win. Bournemouth
Oh, was
Crystal
that
Palace.
St. James's? Sorry, that's St.
Yeah,
James's.
James's Park. Yeah.
Oh,
St. James's Park.
oh, Duran.
At Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm sticking with a draw. Duran is guaranteed goals. I'm going draw. 3-3.
Bournemouth Crystal Palace. I'm gonna go with the 2-0 Bournemouth win.
Um, I'm going 2-1 Palace.
Away at Bournemouth. Forest Tottenham. 2-1 Forest.
Oh, Forest at home.
Yeah. I'm going with 2-1 Forest.
Oh, Forest, I have a bald manager, yeah? 3-0 Forest. 3-0
Oh,
Forest.
Southampton West Ham. 3-1 West Ham.
2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Fairest. Wolves Man United. 2-1 United.
United play who?
Wolves away. 2-1 United. I'll back my team, whatever. Even though I don't think we're that good.
Uh, 3-2 Wolves.
Liverpool Leicester. 3-0 Liverpool.
Where's the game?
Field. Liverpool slap.
Jamie Vardy, man. 4-1 Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Leicester score first. Leicester score first. But 4-1 Liverpool.
Brentford, Brighton. Brentford, sorry, at Brighton. I'm going to go with 1-1 draw.
3-0 Brighton.
Arsenal, Ipswich, 3-0 Arsenal.
7-0 Arsenal.
Oh,
Actually, no, sorry. No, Ipswich. No, okay. They're actually kind of good.
at the Emirates, though.
6-1 Arsenal. 6-1 Arsenal.
Fairest. And any other games left for? No, I guess that's it. Yeah, we back to preview the. I'll be back to preview the season, not the season, but the rest of the fixtures before the new year. We back to preview that. So yeah, we'll talk about it and we'll review this game as well. So yeah, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Saka's out for 2 months, by the way.
Sorry, who's out? Saka?
Saka's out for 2 months, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I can't lie. But what are you saying? I mean, got any plans for the holidays?
Sorry, what did you say?
You got any plans for the holidays?
No, not really. Just Christmas.
Nah, fair enough. Lads, we're gonna close it out here. Thank you for coming on, bro. Just appreciate you having you taking the time to come on today, man. We'll talk. It's been a tough show for me, but it is what it is. I mean, United gotta sink it and move on to Wolves away, I guess. Move on to Wolves away. Those of you watching, wishing you all a Merry Christmas. I'll definitely see you after
Merry
Boxing
Christmas.
Day. I'll definitely see you after Boxing Day fixtures, people. NBA itself will be back tomorrow on the channel as per usual, so I'll be back tomorrow. And maybe the F1 review. I'll try and fit this one in before the new year, so make sure you guys tune into that. Football. I'll preview the last game of 2024, the last Premier League games of 2024. Excuse me. And then the first Premier League game before when 2025 kicks off is Brentford Arsenal. So we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, all good, people. What are you saying? Excited for the new year? Excited for new beginnings next year?
I mean, listen, new year, but will it be a new Man United? Who knows?
Same old Man United, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, people are gonna wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on, bro. Like, share, subscribe. I shared the link on Twitter. Make sure you guys go and click the link and subscribe. I want to reach 120 before the end of 2024. So please make sure you guys go and subscribe.
What are you on?
103. And 61 of you watching can easily do that right now.
Oh, facts.
How long Saka out for? Third grade. Then yeah, Ferris. Wolves got a new manager. January 4th signs room to join. Yeah, Dan James is just a bad. He's all right, bro. He's all right. And yeah, I'm just seeing all this right now before we go. It's not gonna joke. Yeah, okay. Ferris, bro. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being here, bro. Wrap it up here. Like, share, subscribe. Fuck United. See yous.